Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a case that's, well, it's not just chilling. It really shook a community to its core and left this permanent, terrifying mark on criminal history.
Absolutely. It's one of those cases that lodges itself in the public consciousness.
We've gathered quite a stack of sources for you, everything from detailed psychological profiles and crime summaries to some really personal community reflections.
Yeah, a lot to work through.
Our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack how someone who seemed so completely ordinary on the surface, how Dennis Rader transformed into one of America's most notorious serial killers.
And to navigate the facts, the chilling details and those surprising twists that finally led to his capture.
It's a heavy topic for sure.
It really is. But it offers, I think, some profound insights, not just into human pathology, but also into the incredible persistence of justice, sometimes over decades.
We're not just recounting what happened.
No, definitely not. We're digging into the critical lessons from the investigation and also those lasting, pretty unsettling questions this case still brings up.
Okay, let's really get into this then.
Yeah.
Before Dennis Lynn Rader became, a household name synonymous with pure terror, he lived a life that, just looking at it, seemed remarkably unremarkable, almost boringly normal.
Right. Born in Pittsburgh, Kansas, 1945. Grew up in Wichita.
The very city he'd later terrorized. It's hard to reconcile that ordinary existence with the monster he became.
It really is. And what's illuminating, especially looking back, are those maybe subtle but significant early indicators. Things often seen in criminal profiling.
Like what specifically?
Well, our sources show Rader himself admitted to animal cruelty when he was young.
Right. That's often cited as a red flag.
Exactly. It's not just a grim detail. In criminal psychology, it often points towards, developing lack of empathy, a need for control, sometimes part of that homicidal triad they talk about.
A disturbing glimpse, even if it's only clear in hindsight.
Precisely. And then you look at his public life, served in the Air Force.
Yeah, 66 to 70.
Worked for ADT Security Services, the irony there.
Unbelievable.
And held these, upstanding community roles. Cub Scout leader, church council president.
That contrast.
Yeah.
The normal, almost exemplary public face and the absolute darkness hidden beneath.
Yeah.
That's completely central here.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. To everyone who knew him, he was this pillar of the community.
While secretly nurturing these horrific fantasies. But were there any actual red flags people could see at the time, or was his mask just perfect?
Well, that's the crucial question, isn't it? Hindsight makes it seem obvious, perhaps, but the profiles we've looked at suggest Rader was incredibly skilled at compartmentalizing, maintaining this really sophisticated facade.
So maybe just subtle things, an odd comment.
Possibly. Maybe an unusual fixation on control in just, everyday situations.
Yeah.
Or a sort of peculiar aloofness. But nothing overtly criminal, not until much later.
The psychological discipline required for that, for decades.
It's staggering, truly. A level of deception that's hard to fathom.
And it's that deception that let him operate for so long.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the really horrifying part. The crimes themselves.
Yeah.
His killing spree went on for nearly 2 decades.
74 to 91.
10 confirmed victims.
Yeah.
Wichita, Park City, Kansas. And he didn't just kill, he branded his terror.
The BTK name. Bind, torture, kill.
He gave himself that name.
Which tells you so much, not just about the methods, but the intent. It's like he was building his own dark legend.
Let's talk about the first murders, the Otero family, January 74.
Horrific. Joseph, Julie, Joseph Jr., and Josephine, all strangled.
And crucially, he took souvenirs from the scene.
Yes, and that's not just about a keepsake. It's what profilers call a signature behavior. It fulfills some deep psychological need for the offender.
Like re-experiencing the crime, maintaining control.
Exactly that, fueling the fantasy.
And in the individual cases, they just paint this really stark picture.
Yeah.
And you see the methods evolving almost. Just months after the Oteros, April 74, Catherine Bright, stabbed and strangled.
And her brother survived the attack.
Miraculously. He gave investigators an early description of the suspect. Didn't lead anywhere at the time, though.
No, unfortunately not. Then fast forward to 77. Shirley McAshan. Strangled. He locked her children in the bathroom.
The cruelty is...
And later that same year, Nancy Fox, also strangled.
But the audacity in the Fox case.
Calling the police himself afterward?
Yes, to report the crime. It's chilling.
It really is. It's these Calculated acts of communication, this need to engage with authorities that kind of set him apart.
He wasn't just committing crimes, he was building a narrative.
Yeah.
A persona.
Absolutely. Calling the police, sending taunting letters. It's not just arrogance, it's this profound need for total control over the victims, the investigation, the public fear.
Years passed. Then, 1985, Marine Hedge.
Killed. Posed in bondage. At a church, no less.
Photographed. Then buried in a ditch. That post-mortem activity is deeply disturbing.
It speaks to that control and fantasy element again.
Then the next year, 86, Vicky Waygriddle.
Disguised himself as a repairman to gain entry.
Choked her, photographed her body, stole her car. Again, that pattern. Control photos, trophies.
A clear escalation and refinement of his ritual.
And his last confirmed victim, Dolores Davis, in 1991.
Entered through a broken window, strangled her, masked her body, left her under a bridge.
The details from the sources, they just lay out this pattern of escalating perverse behaviors, these dark rituals.
And you see the recurring themes, don't you? Strangulation is frequent, bondage, that powerful element of control.
And the post-mortem manipulation, posing victims, photos, contacting authorities.
Yes, all meticulously designed, it seems, to feed his ego, exert power long after the act, and really cement that BTK identity he created. It's a chilling psychological blueprint.
And for years, he got away with it. Eluded capture. Largely because he was cunning and because he kept taunting everyone.
The letters, the poems, the messages.
Flipping them to the media. Even putting a letter in a library book way back in '74. Embracing that BTK name right from the start.
It was like a twisted game for him.
Definitely felt like he needed that notoriety, that sense of being one step ahead.
And then, what's just fascinating and ultimately pivotal is that long hiatus.
Right. After Dolores Davis in '91, he goes completely silent. For over a decade.
Cases go cold. People maybe start to think BTK is gone or dead or stopped.
But then, 2004, he resurfaces.
And makes that fatal mistake, sending photos, victim IDs, cartoons, even a crime outline.
And that infamous floppy disk to a TV station.
That act of, I guess, hubris, that need to reclaim his legend, that's what brought him down.
A huge miscalculation after years of being so careful.
It absolutely undid all that meticulous planning and evasion.
So how did that sloppy disk break the case? It seems so. Almost quaint now.
Right. But it was cutting-edge forensics at the time. Investigators found metadata.
Explain that a bit, like a digital fingerprint.
Exactly. Data about the data, hidden info in the file. In this case, even in a deleted Word document on the disk.
Wow, even deleted stuff.
Yep. They found metadata pointing back to Christ Lutheran Church and a user named Dennis.
Incredible. That one breadcrumb.
It pinpointed Rader. Then they needed confirmation. DNA from his daughter.
They got a warrant for a pap smear sample, didn't they?
Yes, matched it to crime scene evidence. And that was it. After 3 decades, the net finally closed.
He was arrested February 2005.
Confessed almost immediately. Pleaded guilty. By August, 10 consecutive life sentences.
Now in El Dorado Correctional Facility. Often in isolation, the sources say.
Understandably, given the brutality. But zooming out, it's just such a powerful example, isn't it? How digital forensics and DNA tech have completely changed investigations.
A real triumph of technology and just sheer police persistence over decades.
Definitely.
But you know, the story doesn't just end with him behind bars. There are still questions, ongoing investigations, new developments.
Right. His daughter, Carrie Rawson, wrote a book.
A serial killer's daughter. Powerful stuff, grappling with that legacy.
And she's even been involved in some related cold case work, offering her unique perspective.
Which makes you think about the ripple effects, doesn't it? The families of perpetrators.
Yeah.
They become victims in a whole different, devastating way.
Absolutely. And there's ongoing research into potential links to other cold cases.
Like the Cynthia Kinney disappearance in Oklahoma back in '76.
Exactly. Rader's a suspect. Initially, not enough evidence for charges.
But then that crossword puzzle clue emerged. Seemed to tie him to it.
Highly intriguing, yes. And investigators reopened the case based on that and other information. It shows how these things are never truly closed sometimes.
And even just this year, 2024, more developments. Allegations from diary entries suggesting abuse of his daughter.
To which Rader denied.
And authorities searched his old property again. Found items of interest.
Disturbing items, possibly linked to other crimes. Maybe more trophies he kept hidden.
It really feels like the full scope of his activities might still be unknown, even now.
And our sources also mention those community reflections, like on Reddit.
Yeah, people talking about the taunting, the metadata being the key.
And those really unsettling claims about him dressing as his victims.
It just shows how deeply this case embedded itself in the public mind. The fascination, the horror, it
Yeah.
endures.
A wound that doesn't quite heal for the community?
So we've taken this deep dive into Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, from that shocking contrast of his ordinary life.
To the reign of terror, the self-aggrandizing taunts.
And finally, those tiny digital breadcrumbs that brought him down after so long.
It's a stark reminder, I think, of the meticulous work investigators do, piecing things together over years, even
But
generations.
also the chilling psychological depths behind
Yeah.
these acts, the sheer cunning and deception.
And that relentless quest for answers, even in decades-old mysteries that still haunt people.
So for you, our listener, maybe here's a final thought to consider. Rader's caught. He's imprisoned. But these continued discoveries, the new allegations, the open cold case investigations, they suggest the full, horrifying story might still be unfolding. What does that tell us about the persistence of evil? But also, maybe more importantly, about the relentless pursuit of justice, no matter how much time passes.